What's wrong? I failed. I failed to save someone again. Man is born a mortal being and we all make mistakes. It's part of the game. Just be more careful the next time. It's hard for me to accept making mistakes like this. Then, you can choose to suffer. That's also a part of the experience of mortal life. Oh yeah, mortal.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the podcast. Danny here, and today I'm talking to you about Trigun Multiple Bullets. So Multiple Bullets is an anthology of a bunch of one-shots for the series since it ended back in 2008. Most of these came out because of the debut of the movie Badland Rumbles, and I know the rest are, I think they just came out just because. And I did some research into whether or not these are canon, and it seems that most of them are. So let's start with the first one, man. Trigun Badland Rumble. Again, same title as the movie. This was to promote it, essentially. It's 2 chapters. This is written and drawn by Yasuhiro Naitao. It's really nothing special. Literally just, hey guys, Trigun is back. Let's reminisce on what were the key points of the series. So, of course, we got Vash, Wolfwood, Meryl, and Millie. And you could say it's a prologue, but we know it's not because in the movie, it's everybody kind of bumps into each other. I think Vash was traveling with Wolfwood in the beginning. I don't remember. It's been a while since I saw the movie. But I know they definitely bump into Meryl and Millie. So it's just really a refresher of how the characters are. And with the fresh new art style that he's going with, which is closer to the movie. So that's always cool to see because, it's been a while since he did the manga. And that's really all I have to say. It's just a good time. And it's just retouching on themes like Vash's code of honor of not to kill people, Wolfwood's frustration with it. Similar to how it is in the manga rather than the anime. The essence of Vash the Stampede and how his personality affects a town whenever he enters it. And that's pretty much all it is. So there is one other, though, that was for promotion of the movie, and that is Trigun Rising. It's a one-shot written and drawn by Yusuke Takeyama. Look this guy up. He's got nothing on record. So this is really the only thing he did, I guess. But Trigun Rising is a one-shot about one of the Gun-Ho guns, surprisingly. And it's about Rai, the samurai guy, right? The only one that was using a sword to fight Vash. And I have to say, I like this one. The art style's nice. It's definitely not the same. But it reflects the character Rai himself. So I think that's good. It's always tricky when you have a different artist coming in to do your work. But I felt like this one was appropriate enough. And it's a story about him before he met Knives or Legato or even joined the Gun-Ho guns. It's really just telling what his character was. We get a bit of that in the manga, and I sadly don't remember how much we got in the anime, if he was even there. I'm pretty sure he was, but I just don't remember. It's been so long. But here we get a real understanding of his character and essentially one of the main reasons why he joined the Gun-Ho guns. It's a really nice story here. We get the human side for him, for the most part. Sure, they're all evil for the Gun-Ho guns, but at one point, they weren't like that. And I thought it was just really nice and refreshing to check this out. And, none of the other main characters show up. There's no Vash in this. It's all about Rai and his story, which I thought was cool because his was definitely a fight that stood out. And sure, it has to do with him being a swordsman, but also the things that he was talking to about Vash during their fight. It's really nice. And again, the art style complements what's going on. And it definitely, there was stuff in here that I didn't expect towards the end. Because I was like, oh, yeah, we never really got this crazy, I guess, or this graphic in Trigun. It's very minor stuff. It's nothing crazy, but it's really showing you the darker side that Vash never really saw. Because again, remember, in Trigun, it was all in Vash's viewpoint for a majority of the time. A little bit with Wolfwood because we have to understand his character when it mattered. But we never saw these things that Vash never saw. It's the stuff that Knives really saw and everybody in the Gun-Ho guns, and that's why they decided to get rid of humanity. That was their decision because of the things they saw here. And you definitely could feel the emotion in some of these parts. I just wish there was more to this than just the one chapter. I mean, probably 2 chapters would have been good. I would have appreciated that because we get just enough for the story, for the motivations of Rai at the end, but there's sadly not enough with him showing off his combat, which is what I liked in his fight with Vash, right? Because we did get some glimpses of that, but I kind of wish there was just more here, especially with the art style. I wanted to see more of what this guy can do because there's really nothing else that he's done, at least from what I saw. So I would recommend, reading Trigun Rising if you guys ever pick up the book. The next one was Trigun the Lost Plant, and this is written and drawn by our boy Boichi, right? Sun Ken Rock fame, just talked about Origin not that long ago, and he is the artist for Dr. Stone right now that's published, as well as the Ace adaptation from the novel over on the One Piece magazine. And he's done, of course, a bunch of other great work. Yeah, you could definitely tell I think this was during Sun Ken Rock's serialization, because they do promote the physical volumes. And just the way his art style is and the coloring, it was of that era, because I think after Sun Ken Rock, I guess after Origin, his art did change into what it is now with Dr. Stone and the Ace novel. But yeah, great stuff. The coloring was great in the beginning. I like the washed out tones. And this is definitely post Trigun Maximum. And because, we see Vash, with his different hair color. And, I was looking through some of the comments about Multiple Bullets, trying to find out more information. And I guess people didn't really like this one. And, going through it, you can tell Boichi was a fan of the series, but which version is the question. I would probably lean a little bit more towards just maybe the anime, just of how goofy everything is. But at the same time, Boichi kind of writes like this anyways when it comes to his main characters. Like, sure, they're serious decisions, but most of the time his main characters can be a goofy. And checking it out, it was definitely an interesting story. And again, I wish, just like with Rising, we had more stuff to work with here. Since it's only one chapter, it's 25 pages max, you could say, excluding all like the covers and everything that go with it. It had an interesting premise. So this is 6 years after Trigun Maximum. And then, so we're following Vash, but he's actually tagging along with a different character named Veronica. She hears this voice calling out to her. She goes into this abandoned area where one of the ships crashed. And sure enough, one thing survived, and it was a plant, hence the title, Lost Plant. And just the conversation the plant has was definitely interesting stuff, but I could see where people stepped away and was like, what is going on here? Now, we know how powerful plants are from both the anime and the manga, especially in the manga, right? Because this is what it's following. Just the conversation Vash has with this plant and what's going on was, I don't know, it was kind of disappointing. It's, again, to highlight Vash the Stampede's character and his morals. That's the main message. But just all the stuff coming into why he has to prove it was disappointing. Just the absurdity of the scale of how dangerous whatever's about to happen is. And that was unfortunate. Because we saw Million's Knives and how threatening his level was, but we saw the buildup for him to get there. And then now here we come with this random plant all by itself with no regulation of power output or anything, as explaining you have to do this right now or everything you love will be gone instantaneously. And it's like, that's just a little too much. Of course, the art style is fantastic, especially when he draws Vash being serious. That's all you should probably check this out for. Sadly, is what I would say. And it's good to see what Vash was doing post the series, but it's just not something that is likable. Yeah. I like Boichi a lot. His storytelling can be fantastic, but I think just the fact that it's a one-shot and he kind of had free reign on the series. I mean, I don't know if there was like an editor going through this or if Yasuhiro, talked to Boichi about what the one-shot should be. But yeah, I think if there was more chapters, it could have been fleshed out way better, but it is what it is. Can't find scanlations online for anything else besides the ones I just mentioned. But luckily I found a website that kind of breaks down each story, and so we'll just talk about them. So the other one is Denizens of the Planet by Satoshi Mizukami. And Mizukami has done a bunch of work, actually. Nothing I've ever checked out, but hearing the premise for this, I'm interested to see more from this person. And this is interesting. So it's new characters, and it talks about a young boy named Tran, and then there's Zaj of the Sandworms, and then the Sandworm scientist Lamel. It's all about living together in peace, but nothing really happens, I guess, and it's just talking about why they hate each other, how to basically coexist, right? Which is the conversation towards the end of Trigun Maximum, I guess you could say, because remember, Vash wants to coexist with humans, but Knives does not. He actually resents them to the point of he just wants to do genocide on the species itself. And then next there was Les Enfants Arc Performance, and it's described as just a summary of the story, and I guess the art style is similar to the Legend of Zelda series. So that's interesting, but I guess it's not the best of a summary. There's a 4-Koma, which is like sort of like a comic, right? Like a strip comic thing, kind of like how Komi-san is. And that's with Millie and Meryl, and I guess of them having a cooking show. Then there's Cutting is Fighting, and that's by Akira Sagami. And he's only done 2 other works here. They look okay. And this is Meryl giving Vash a haircut, no dialogue, just some funny moments. Okay. And it's, I guess, just kind of further, I guess, just to see them together, right? Because their relationship was always just as vague as it can ever be in the series. And I think that's just something Yasuhiro didn't even want to touch on, because he had bigger stories to tell clearly when you read Maximum. That's pretty much it for the episode. I just wanted to touch on it because, I assumed there was going to be some interesting stuff, because I heard that majority of this was canon. With the boy that's the son of a plant like Vash and Knives, that could be interesting. I mean, because, a lot of stuff was undiscovered with the crash sites of all the ships, and I doubt they grabbed all the plants, and maybe maybe not Vash, maybe Knives didn't grab every single one towards the end. So that goes with Lost Planet, and that goes with Denizens. It is what it is, I guess. And that all came out at the same time, I guess, 2011, over in the same magazine that published Trigun Maximum. If you try to find it, just try to find it online. It's difficult to look for a physical copy, which is always sad to say when it comes to manga. Thanks for sticking around, guys. If you have any questions or comments, and that'll be unversepodcast@gmail.com. We'll bring it up in the next episode as always. And we'll wait for those episodes. Follow us on social media at unversepodcast. We'll let you know when those episodes drop. So thanks again, guys. We'll catch you on the next episode.